absolutely perfect.
It's Super Sunday here in Sassnitz. So far, we've seen record-breaking speeds.
Fastest speed in SailGP ever.
And high drama.
That's just not acceptable.
Oh, France!
Unbelievable scenes.
And with 4 winners coming from 4 races, the event is wide open.
Massive performance by them.
Can someone knock the Australians off the top spot? Or will the Bonds Flying Ruse rule the roost in Germany?
That's awesome. Locking in some speed, guys.
Waves crash underneath, sound like thunder speaking. Flying carbon machines, driven by the world's best, yes. Powered by nature, raw passion, all action. When it takes, racing on water, racing with impact. Give it all, everything, give it all, everything. We are racing. When it takes, we are SailGP.
For the first time in league history, the world's best sailors will race on German waters in the resort town of Sassnitz, as Season 5 nears a crescendo on the road to a championship in November. Known for its natural beauty and scenic coastline, this port community now welcomes SailGP to its shores as sailing's best look to conquer these Baltic waters in hopes of securing a spot in today's event final and the opportunity to hoist the wheel as champions. But as the past 2 days have shown us, tricky and unpredictable conditions are the norm as thousands of fans will be watching on shore and on the water. Welcome to the Germany Sail Grand Prix Sassnitz. Alongside former GBR team athlete Hannah Diamond and Olympian Stevie Morrison, I'm Todd Harris. Following this first visit to Germany, just 4 stops remain in Season 5. Up next, Saint-Tropez, France, followed by another first-time venue in Geneva, Switzerland. Then it's a return to Spain before the season finale in Abu Dhabi at the end of November. Plenty of action in the practice racing and yesterday. Here's a look back at what took place.
For the first time ever, SailGP was on German shores, and if practice day was anything to go by, the racing in Sassnitz was going to be electric. High winds and even higher speeds saw Brazil whitetail.
Big incident.
Problems, big problem.
Steady, okay? Last trapped.
It's really important that everybody is safe and fortunately without a scratch.
Oh, yeah, I'm all right.
And France stunned.
The French have really put it in the water there.
Yeah, I never checked like this on a boat before, but yeah, it was super violent.
Unfortunately, Brazil will not be joining for this after that incident yesterday, but France is a go. So Quentin Delapierre just about 90 seconds away from racing once again, and he does like the speed.
Absolutely perfect at the bottom of the line, and Mark 1. We're going to see these FDs absolutely light up as they turn away from the breeze.
It didn't take long for the hosts to get the crowd on their feet.
Everyone, get out of the way. The Germans are coming as Eric Heil and his squad crosses the line in first.
Absolutely amazing. You don't hear much with the in-ears, but you feel the the vibration from the grandstands, and that's something very special.
However, the Emirates Great Britain team soon conquered the conditions and got themselves a win.
Dylan Fletcher and Emirates GBR win race number 2 here in Sassnitz.
Here we go. Beautiful by Rockwell, Denmark, so fast.
Big puff on in 3. Really
Watch the speeds at the top of the mast.
It was only a matter of time before records were broken.
And they go over 103.
Oh, what a moment. Fastest speed in SailGP ever. Where did that come from?
That's lit.
I'm gonna fall. Yeah. Oh, fast. No wonder the runners like this.
The Bonds Flying Ruse came to the party.
That judge it just perfectly with the Vikings in tow. They may have the highest speed, but the win is going to go the way of the Bonds Flying Ruse in race number 3.
Nice work, guys.
Records weren't the only things being broken on the water.
Oh, that's catastrophic. They had to keep clear there. Oh, that's unbelievable.
And the black foils weren't going to be denied.
And the final race on Saturday will go the way of the black foils. So here's how it looks after day 1. Tom Slingsby's Bond Flying Ruse lead the pack. Season leaders, the Black Foils, in second. And despite a huge incident in practice racing, Quentin Delapierre's Team France round out the top 3. The home crowd will be excited to see the German team potentially make their first event final in just their second season of racing. And that disastrous crash for Team USA puts them out of the racing today, and they will be docked an additional 8 season points from their overall season standings. After 7 events, it's Black Foals New Zealand, the Bonds Flying Roos, and Season 4's defending champion Spain that make up the top 3, with just a few points separating them from Emirates GBR in 4th. North Star Canada round out the top 5 in the race to Abu Dhabi and a Season 5 overall title.
Well, we're back here for day 2 in Sassnitz, and after 4 races yesterday, we got 3 more races for the 10 boats out there today. 10 points if you win the race, 1 point if you're 10th. We're going to accumulate all the points, and then we'll find the top 3 boats that go forward to that winner-takes-all event final.
We've got lighter winds for day 2 here in Sassnitz, and as ever, getting away from the start line cleanly before turning left at Mark 1 will give a huge advantage to the teams who can make a clear break ahead of the fleet. At gate 2, the teams can choose to turn either left or right, and will look to join up the darker patches of water where there's more wind to get them to gate 3 in good shape. With the wind coming straight off the land, we can expect strategy to be key, and I wouldn't be surprised to see some big gains and losses around the course as teams try to sail the shortest distance. After 1 more lap, the boats will make a right turn to finish just off the breakwater.
And there are the 10 teams that will be competing. Mubadala Brazil and USA SailGP are a no-go today on Super Sunday. For more information, we check in with the 4th member of our team. Here's Olympic silver medalist Lisa Darmanin.
Well, it's another beautiful day for racing in Sassnitz, but it's going to be one of the hardest days of racing for the athletes. The wind is further around to the right, so it's even more gusty than yesterday. And the difference between the strong and light wind is the difference between foiling or not foiling. So one of those days that finding the best wind is going to be extremely difficult, but extremely rewarding. It's around 20 to 28 kilometers per hour from the northwest. The F50s are set up for high-speed T-foils, and they also have the high-speed rudders. So in the light winds, the maneuvers will still be quite tricky. Wing-wise, we are back on the 24-meter all-purpose wing, and we've got the large jib at the front of the F50. So the hardest thing is always the start, but where it's situated right now, it is going to be incredibly difficult to do that time on distance.
Well, the first German Sail Grand Prix will no doubt be one for the history books, with records and boats being smashed. Yesterday in race 4, Team USA's collision with Emirates GBR put both boats at risk of missing the racing on Super Sunday here in Sassnitz, Germany.
Down 5, down 5, down 10. Oh. Okay, coming down 5. Down 5, down 5. Head up. Idiots. Down 10. Oh. I'm really sorry. We require assistance immediately. Poor Hull has been hit by the Americans. Oh my God.
Obviously a big mistake and very costly, you know, for both teams, and big apology to my team, and yeah, a misjudgment, and yeah, you know, it's sport at a very high level, and it's you know, I put my hand up, and yeah, it's not an easy one.
It kind of felt like that was probably an avoidable one, but you just don't know. You don't know what's going on the boat at the time.
After a high-speed collision between the USA and Emirates GBR in race 4, the British team faced an overnight struggle to get their boat back on the water for Super Sunday.
Hull's pretty damaged on the port side. They went through the hull and through the mid-deck. It's a pretty sizable hull. You can fit your body through it. But yeah, I think structurally that's the thing. Hopefully they've missed the bulkhead, so we'll be okay.
We did give a piece of our boat to GBR. I feel like it's partly right because we did foul them, but we will be in Saint-Tropez ready to go racing, and we're looking forward to that.
Can't thank enough everyone at SailGP and our shore team and any other person that's kind of helped try to get the boat back out in the water. I think it's still pretty time on distance whether we're going to make it. There's still a lot to do, but yeah, the effort put in by everyone's been phenomenal.
And a great job by the shore crew there. Meanwhile, out on the waters prior to jump and start, Stevie, we've seen speeds in excess of 100 kilometers an hour here in Sassnitz. And one man who is currently used to the thrill of high-speed racing, of course, is Sebastian Vettel, the 4-time Formula One champion and part of the management group. He joined the Germans on the RF50 earlier today, and Stevie, no doubt he has the feel for speed. Yeah, I mean, if anyone's used to going fast around corners and in changeable conditions, it's Seb. I mean, it's amazing to see this crossover of team sports. I'm sure it'll be useful for the German team to see it. Great for Seb to experience it, and just sort of shows how cutting edge and fast this racing is. I got to imagine, though, Stevie, he's got to have a pretty decent touch with his hand on that wheel. I mean, anything with speed and driving, natural? Yeah, I think so, and I just think as well with these boats, there's so much of a steering to data, steering to numbers, and I think that side of Formula One driving where you've got to hit braking points, you've got to hit targets, it's all very similar to this game. Well, earlier he spoke to Lisa Darmanin about the experience out on the water.
How was that, Seb, tearing across that reach on that F50?
It was very exciting. I mean, it's been a while that I've been on the boat, and you forget the forces, which was very impressive. So obviously I'm the alien on board. The team knows exactly what to do. It was very exciting when I was able to hold on to the wheel, and not quite sure where to turn exactly, but the guys were giving me the right cues. So it was a bit short, unfortunately, but very nice and obviously special to do it here in Germany and to see so many people out there.
Incredible crowd, home event for the team. How special is this for you?
Very, very special. I think that everyone on board, the whole crew is enjoying it. We had a mega day yesterday, and now fingers crossed for Team Germany today again.
And of course, Hannah, as everyone knows, this is Formula One on water, SailGP, correct?
Yeah, that's right. We couldn't have picked a more perfect day to get someone like Seb Vettel out on the water. And it's amazing for us as sailors to be able to show other people this sport. It's so spectacular. But for people to be able to get that feeling of actually driving on board is really second to none.
Any chance Stevie Morrison gets into an F1 car? I'm not sure they could afford the braking costs. All right, here we go. The 10 boats that are available to go racing as we look at 2 minutes to go before the start of race number 5 here on Super Sunday. And I got to, once again, tip of the cap to the shore crews for Emirates GBR, Stevie. They went to work and they got the boat ready, and it is out on the water, ready to sail. Well, and even more, it looks miraculous, doesn't it? It looks perfectly new. I mean, that shore crew's incredible. Hannah will be able to tell us more than myself, but the tech team and the Team GBR, team as well. It's been an amazing effort. Hannah, that is your former team, and here they are back on the water. Yesterday, when that incident happened, do you think there was any chance they'd be racing today?
Well, certainly they had to wait to crane the boat out to see the extent of the damage, but, an amazing effort from everyone involved in getting the boat back on the water, and I think, they're just going to be getting back into their routines for today, trying to put yesterday behind them and see what they can do today.
So 12 becomes 10 here on Super Sunday at the Germany Sail Grand Prix Sassnitz. The USA and Brazil will have to sit this one out on the injured reserve list. Everyone's okay, the boats, though, not so much. So here we go, 1 minute to go before we kick things off here in Germany. As they make their way into a very small start box, Stevie, this is a little bit different than yesterday, so tight quarters. Yeah, this is going to be a really tricky racetrack, and I think if anyone at home's ever played Super Mario Kart, this is going to be Super Mario Kart, but with Mother Nature deciding who gets the rockets and who gets the banana skins. So there's a lot of action going to happen out here. This race will not be over till it's over. Judging the start's going to be really difficult. You could have 800 horsepower or you could have 300 horsepower when it comes, depending on the wind. Right now it's light in the box. Those boats out the back could be struggling. Yeah, look for New Zealand to cut the corner here. It's really light. Boats are going to be slow. New Zealand, Burling cuts the corner. The Aussies, the Roos, they're struggling at the bottom of the line. Pole predictors with the Germans. They've managed to get on a hull. Who can get these boats flying? 15 seconds to go. Emirates, Great Britain and France are trying to thread the needle. Delapierre might save this one at the bottom of the line. I like where Delapierre is right now. Rolex pole predictor still on board North Star. Look for the line to turn. White. Brilliant by the French, and they're foiling. They're going to be gone at Mark 1 at the moment. Can any of the other boats get up and going and chase them down? North Star are foiling. Top of the Tyne, Italy are foiling as well, as are the Swiss. It's going to be a big, big drag race for the French here. And as they approach mark number 1 here in the first race on Super Sunday, as a wise man once said, how's your timing, Quentin Delapierre?
Absolutely smashed that timing, threaded the needle there, and it's now all about finding the wind here. Expect to see Manon at the back of the boat, head on a swivel, not just looking for the other boats there. Dark patch, left side of screen. That's going to be really fueling up the boats behind, but we can see New Zealand still stuck off the foils, top of our screen. The black foils are miles behind, but don't expect that to be the last we see of them in this race.
Super tricky just to even get around that mark. The air's going to be really disturbed around the course. So if you can get ahead, just like the French have done here, it's going to be so much easier sailing for now.
Look at the angle as well, Hannah. Look at the angle they're sailing.
Straight down the course. They've got a really nice shift angle there, but it's going to be quite hard to pull off this maneuver to turn the boat and head back towards the line. So they're going to have to be really accurate with their maneuvers.
So this is like 2 of 6, race number 5. We've got 2 more races with the entire fleet after this, and then the event final. Only the top 3 teams will racing. It is France out in front, North Star sits in second, Emirates GBR on the repaired boat sits in third, and Rockwool Denmark, the speed merchants from yesterday, in fourth.
Really crucial here that you try and pick the course where you think you can stay in wind. You can see the French there have actually turned away from the wind. I'm slightly decided by that decision, a little bit of a random decision for me that. I think straight on for the left turn for Canada is good. They're off the foils here. Could be a mistake by the French. That's going to bring them back into the pack. Canada also decide to take that. There is maybe big wind where Rockwool Denmark are, so they're trying to head back that way.
As they try to get around the DP World Gate here on leg number 2, we check in back on the water with Lisa Darman. And Lisa, any idea why the French and the Canadians would opt for that as a tight Rockwool Denmark drops inside?
Well, that's where all the wind is, Todd. So in the training, everyone was over there. There's this big gust of wind over there. So I think everybody's prioritizing that side. Now, once you get to that breeze where all those spectator boats are, that's great. But then how do you navigate the next half of the course? That's a real challenge.
So to Lisa's point, you see Rockwool Denmark, Stevie, having no problem keeping their speed up. They make the turn. They're now in first place. And Emirates GBR on the other side of the course.
Yeah, and Emirates GBR have actually stayed in breeze there. I think they could be in good shape here. They're going to really move up these ladder lines quite quickly. You can just hear the conversation there. It's a little bit heightened, but I think that's because it's such a fast-changing dynamic on the racecourse.
Yeah, I think it's one of those days today where if you can sail the boat without concentrating too much on what you're doing, you've got the capacity to look around, join up those patches of pressure. The Brits have done a really nice job to stay in some pressure there, but they're just slowing down now as they come into some lighter winds.
We've got the small foils on as well, Todd, remember that. So the boats have got the potential to go really fast, but when the wind drops down, all priority's got to go on staying on the foils.
And what a story this would be if Emirates GBR could somehow come back after that collision yesterday at the end of day number 1 and find themselves in a position to battle to hoist the wheel at the end of the day here in Sassnitz.
You see here in the picture, you see to the left of the screen, it's really dark. To the right of the screen, lighter colour. They're talking about a high mode. They're trying to sail the boat as close to the wind as they can to desperately cling to that more wind, cling to that more horsepower. Here we go. Rockwool Denmark, they decide to turn back, but they're in really light winds here. So there's a lot more manoeuvres going to happen on the race course today as the boats try and find that extra wind to get the extra speed.
Hannah, we hear the term glamour racing being thrown around a lot, but you look at Emirates GBR, this has got to be a glamour situation for them. No boat within 150 meters of them. They have the whole course basically to themselves.
Yeah, and I think on a lot of days that would give you a lot of confidence, but actually on a day like today, that lead can go in seconds. You can see at the moment they're just paralleling those laddered lines. They're not barely making any progress up the course, whereas the boats at the bottom of the screen here are in really good pressure, so we expect to see them make a gain out of this.
Yeah, you can see New Zealand, the black foils, right-hand side of the screen, they were miles behind. Burling is so good in these shifty conditions. He's going to probably be top 3 by this top gate potentially here. He's got themselves in good breeze. Rockwool Denmark are back in wind, but you can see them really zigging up this shoreline. That was what Lisa was telling us. This side of the course has, on average, got more wind. And again, in racing on a day like today, it's all about averages. They would die to have our helicopter view of the race course to be able to see what's coming.
So the umpire, Craig Mitchell, the chief umpire, issuing North Star Canada with a penalty as they sailed outside the boundary, just searching for some wind and some pressure. And Stevie, just as you called it, Emirates GBR, look at them. They are 22 kilometers an hour right now. And here comes Rockwool Denmark and the Swiss.
Yeah, and they're on the inside. Rockwool Denmark going to do a handbrake turn here, 180. GBR are going to try and go back that way, but they're struggling rules-wise. All the boats are going to be able to come inside them here. So Rockwool Denmark are going to look to pop straight back on the foils if they can. Could be the last the fleet sees of them. No, they're not. They're not on the foils. They're struggling, and it's Slingsby's going to split the course. I think there could be breeze that way. You've got to trust Slingsby's seen something.
It really depends on what stage you go round these gate marks. That really influences your gate choice here. So the Australian Bonds Flying Rouge, they had that option to turn right there, but the Brits really didn't have that option.
Well, I gave Burling the kiss of death, didn't I there? Look, he's fallen off the foils. The black foils are 9th and not moving really at the moment. But as we've seen, a lot to be done here. Australia and Canada in good state, and they're foiling. They're going to go down a lovely patch of wind, Hannah.
Okay, and board in 2, 1 board. And turning. I got Italy.
Really nice work on that manoeuvre there, making sure they're in pressure to pull it off.
What I just think we've got to remember as well, it's all about getting to that top 3 today. That's all that matters. We're accumulating points in that race to the final. Australia, well, they were well ahead, weren't they, after racing yesterday. And here we go, race to the final points. Left-hand side, bottom left side of screen there. Australia, Denmark, and Great Britain, but Germany as well. The hometown heroes, it's all on here. And we've got a lot more racing to go today. Even in this race, this is far from over.
10 points to the winner of each race, all the way down to 1 point for 10th place. So you can do the math with 3 races, 30 points up for grabs. All Tom Slingsby and the Flying Rouge need to do, Stevie, is just keep themselves consistently in the top 6 or 7, and they are golden.
If only that was easy, Tom. This is not a day where that is an easy task, but they're doing a nice job right now, and you can hear it's changing a lot on the racecourse all the time.
Here come the Bonds Flying Rouge on the outside. They'll make the left-hand turn, and it is Rockwool Denmark just on their side.
They've got to keep clear of Denmark, Todd. They can't turn until Rockwool turn. There you go, aggressive from Sassnitz, really pushing Australia wide there. Good tactical racing by Nikolai. Might well be a 180 coming back for the Rockwool Denmark team again here. No, straight, he's going straight, but Slingsby's going to turn. Slingsby splits, and there is wind where Slingsby's headed.
Turning up here. Slowly rolling up.
I think this is a good call by the Bonds Flying Rouge right now. This could be an overtake.
Nice pushing 2. On gust on here, buddy.
Really calm comms on board the Bonds Flying Rouge. Tom Slingsby talking with Tosh Bryant, the strategist on the back of the boat.
Stand by here.
You can see here Australia are doing nearly 60 kilometres an hour, and Rockwool Denmark are off the foils 24. Maybe I have still got it, Todd.
I think something that's really hard today is just keeping everything cool, calm and collected. Things are changing so quickly. The boat's pretty hard to sail, and it's going to be about forgetting the bad decisions you make and really trying to learn from the good ones you make.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, popping here.
Oh, big relief for Rockwool fans there. If Rockwool can get back up on the foils, and Australia are now getting slow. So Rockwool could well be in good shape again now.
Gives us a good opportunity to go down on the water. Lisa Darmanin, has anything changed? We're going to check back with you for these updates. But who do you like, and what position do you like best on the course right now?
Well, Todd, yes, everything's changing. Everything's changing every 5 seconds. I mean, Australia was looking really good, and now Denmark's back in the game. I think the key today is kind of being really dynamic. You want to be able to move your boat around. You want to be able to stay on the foils when you do those maneuvers, because you've got to do, like, you've got to turn, you've got to tack, you've got to drive maneuver before you run out of pressure, and it's so challenging out here. Emirates Great Britain could be back in this, though.
Yeah, look at this. Emirates Great Britain up to 3rd, and Rockwool Denmark now takes over the top position as the Bonds Flying Rouge turn just below them. North Star Canada also in the mix. So really the same 4 teams, Stevie and Hannah, that we started with. They're back in it as well, and some voices getting elevated on board.
Yeah, right of way, Emirates Great Britain here. Australia and Rockwool Denmark must keep clear. They're both off the foils anyway. Australia is struggling to get back on. Emirates GBR, this is the final manoeuvre here. If they can get past that yellow line, all the way past the ley line, we know there's more wind where Emirates Great Britain are heading on average, so this could be good shape for the British fans.
So just before the boundary, Emirates GBR make the turn, and now the race is on. There you see Red Bull Italy in 10th place. They're going to get lapped almost in this situation, where they are still heading downwind.
Hey, we're crossing, no issue at the moment. Agreed, staying high here.
Did a really nice job there just to choose to go H1 out of that manoeuvre, so they're choosing to put that leeward hull in the water and take a higher mode, sailing closer to the wind and closer to that mark.
Yeah, control the controllable, sail a bit less distance if you can.
We're going to go straight back here. Building roll up, big roll up.
Just see when the wind drops off, there's so little you can do. It's just a bit out of your control. But Rockwool Denmark, look, they're up and foiling in the background, but they're sailing across the ladder lines. Top left-hand side of our screens where they're aiming for here. Doesn't look like Emirates Great Britain will get there, so it's going to suddenly be change of situation again. Bond's Flying Ruse have the right of way. GBR need to be confident of being ahead.
Hey, no issues. Denmark tack. Hey. Hey, H1. No.
Those angles change so quickly in these conditions.
So Hannah Mills jump over to the other side of the boat to keep an eye on Denmark and the Bond's Flying Ruse. And here we go. This is the moment in the race. It's a right-hand turn there. You see the finish line.
Yeah. So can Australia stay foiling? If Australia stay foiling here, or Rockwool Denmark, they could roll right round Emirates GBR very easily here, but it could also turn into a parking lot. Emirates GBR not foiling. Rockwool Denmark commit to the left-hand side. Got to keep clear of the British boat here. All off the foils. Should be good news for Emirates GBR, but there's going to be a park up here. Fletcher will be very, very aggressive.
And a complete roadblock for the Bond's Flying Ruse. Nowhere for them to go. If they opt for the left side, they're going to lose distance. So now the race is on. It's a slow drag race to the finish line in race number 5 on Super Sunday. And the boat that was down and out yesterday is now in the winner's circle, winning race number 5. It's Emirates GBR that takes the win.
That was pretty full on there, as we can see in the background here. Germany, Switzerland, and the black foils way out the back. There's going to be an awful lot to be done later on here to try and catch back up.
So the top 3 is Emirates GBR, Rockwool Denmark, and the Bond's Flying Ruse. That's your top 3 in race number 5.
Turning. Going around Canada here.
So now the team's going to do a quick debrief as the rest of the fleet comes in. That'll be the Swiss that'll finish in 8th place. Disappointing for the black foils, Steve. They drop back to 9th place.
I mean, I think it's just, yeah, as soon as you're in the pack, you start to not be in all that much control of your decisions overall, really. And I think, you know, Burling's normally very good in these conditions. He'd normally really back himself. But if you are back in the pack, perhaps you don't get that first pick. So, yeah, pressure well and truly on the black foils if they want to make the final. But don't get it wrong, this is so tight. And we've seen that 3, 4, 5 points can just change in the blink of an eye.
What a race as they come to the end, and it is Emirates GBR that's able to just hold on and claim the win in race 5. So there's the report card. It is the Bond's Flying Ruse still with a 9-point lead over the French, who still hold on for a 4th place finish, and they hold on to that 2nd position, 1 point clear of Emirates GBR. So that is your top 3 right now, but look how tight it is all the way down to the first 7 positions. An amazing race, and amazing racing still to come. We now go on the water now with Emirates GBR and Dylan Fletcher, Hannah Mills. What a race that was. If I'd have told you last night that you will be in the winner's circle on race number 5 after that collision with Team USA, what would be your reaction?
We wouldn't believe it. Just an absolute unbelievable effort by the shore team and the tech team and our team to get us on the water here today. So just this goes out to them. Really appreciate all the work, and yeah, it's wacky racing out here.
Dylan, you come from a very small lake in the middle of the United Kingdom called Pittsford, and it's pretty wacky racing there. Is that kind of giving you any help here?
Yeah, it's certainly wacky. Yeah, it's not easy as a hayhand. So I think just trying to piece it together and, you know, high acceptance of it all. But yeah, it must look good from where you are.
Hey, Dylan, Hannah, Ian, thank you so much for your time. Good luck to you guys. We will see you for race number 6. It is Emirates GBR with a quickly repaired boat, and they win the first race on Super Sunday here in Sassnitz.
Well, if we take a look back at the start here, and it was France, maybe not the defining moment of the race, but brilliant from Delapierre, threading the needle, got it foiling, and he looked disappearing at Mark 1, didn't he, Hannah? But that's not the story of today.
No, that's right. And I think, you know, it's one of those days we often talk about minimising manoeuvres, but actually today, if you put your manoeuvres in the right position and you stay in that pressure, then that's so much more important. We saw just by the time they got to the bottom gate, dropped off the foils, which allowed Rockwool Denmark to come in. They did the same at the top mark, getting inside to take the lead again in that race. race.
They did, and it was really just a wide open course, and you could think you're in of it and out of it. I think Dylan's words in there was be accepting of good things that happen to you, accepting of bad things that happen to you, and keep fighting. See Emirates GBR top right-hand corner of screen. It was the moment here they got some separation and they got some win. Now, was that luck? Was that judgment? I suppose we'll never know, and it doesn't really matter. They managed to make it work when they could, and that's the story of today. Roll with the punches and take the gifts when they come to you, Todd.
Certainly not a gift. It was earned by Emirates GBR, and they take the Emirates winning moment in race number 5. Our Emirates fly time, 83.9%, and that is a feat unto itself, much different than yesterday, and that goes the way of last year's champions, Spain, as they get it done in race 5. One race down, 2 more to go, and then it is the event final, and it's starting to get very sporty down on the waters here in Sassnitz. This is the Rolex SailGP Championship.
Flying carbon machines driven by the world's best, yes. Powered by nature, powered by nature. We are SailGP.
Fourth Grand Prix of the year and the first final not to feature Dylan Fletcher. Momentum shifts to the former GBR driver. Giles Scott reigns in Los Angeles. Canada wins.
Dylan misses his first final of the season. Giles goes on to win the event. And I think when you miss out on that final, when you're so close, you want to make sure the momentum starts swinging back the right way. You want to come out firing in San Fran and say that, that was a blip, but we're back and we're strong. And the opposite happens for the British team in San Francisco.
It's the final fleet race of day 1, and Emirates GBR are having a shocker. They sit in 10th place. Meanwhile, at the front of the pack, the Emirates winning moment goes the way of the Canadians for the second time today.
It's the final race here in New York, and Dylan Fletcher in 3rd place is on the attack. Ahead of him, Giles Scott. The fight is on.
Protest. Giles Scott's not budging. Emirates GBR press the protest button.
Get up. There's left. Race.
Oh, wow, an incredibly close pass by Emirates GBR. We could be looking at some boat-on-boat contact here, Todd.
This is the umpire's penalty. GBR not giving room when altering course. Go behind Canada.
I didn't think to protest it. Annie just pressed the protest button on her own accord. We were just going to let it fly by and just carry on with our race.
Craig, that's absolute joke.
I mean, we didn't think there was contact, and we thought that it was a very clear penalty on the other boat. So Giles has obviously been a lucky boy potentially this weekend.
Well, the umpire made a call on the penalty, didn't they?
Welcome back to Sassnitz. This is the Germany Sail Grand Prix, part of the Rolex SailGP Championships, alongside Stevie Morrison, Hannah Diamond, Lisa Darman, and I'm Todd Harris, as we are now 80 seconds away from the second race of the day. Officially, this is race number 6. Just moments ago in race number 5, Emirates GBR gets the win, Denmark second, and Australia in 3rd. But there is the event leaderboard with Australia, France, Germany, Great Britain, Denmark, and Spain. Really, Stevie, with Germany in the running still.
I think you could take anyone, yeah. Probably Canada might think they've got a half chance, but certainly 7th to 2nd, you could throw a blanket over, and it's going to come down to who can find the breeze and stay patient and calm in their boat around this racecourse.
So with these conditions, Hannah Diamond, where do you want to be on this start, and what did you learn from race number 5, the race prior?
Well, I think that's a tougher question than normal, Todd, to be honest, because it really depends where the pressure is. We saw the French come off the bottom of the line well. I think it's a risk to be up high, to be honest.
Stevie, the question I would say now is do you be reactionary, find out where everyone's going, and then, as Hannah said, look for a hole and then just try to thread the needle, or is that just too risky?
No, there's just not too light a breeze here. It's too light and too changeable. You've got to put yourself in the front thing. Try and have a plan, control it. Emirates GBR, right-hand side of screen. They're up and foiling. They're going fast, but I don't know if he's going to be able to burn off enough time. De La Pierre, once again, out the back in the middle of the situation there. The Rolex pole predictor sits on the Danes. They have got a gap, but it's all about the pop into the start. Emirates Great Britain. How's your timing, Dylan Fletcher? Oh, they've nailed it. They're foiling, they're fast, and they're perfect at the start line here. They are going to be gone at Mark 1.
Coming up a bit.
You've seen it's not all about the start, Todd, but once again the black foils are way out the back, as are France and Spain, and it's the Bonds Flying Rouge and Emirates Great Britain again that are in the mix at Mark 1.
At mark number 1, it is once again Emirates GBR looking good as they've got all the momentum fresh off the win in race number 5. The Bonds Flying Rouge slot into second place, and Germany Deutsche Bank sit in third.
And this is huge. I think the toughest job of the day is going to actually be for the Oracle Clouds, keeping us up to speed on who's doing what in the race to the final. But we can be pretty sure that for Emirates Great Britain and the Bonds Flying Rouge, things look pretty good right now. And for home fans, could this be Germany's first ever final?
Going.
Emirates GBR the first to turn away, Bonds Flying Rouge behind them, then it's Germany Deutsche Bank, North Star Canada. They're in a top 4 position right now, and Red Bull Italy round out the top 5. Good time to check in on the water. What everyone wants to know is, Lisa Darmanin, where is the wind?
Well, the wind is different for everybody depending on the timing of the course. So with the wind, obviously it comes over the land, it's different, and it moves its way down away from the land. So when the teams are about to turn up, they're sort of looking up the course. So for me right now, I still think that left-hand side where all those spectator boats are is the most consistent breeze, but there's definitely opportunity where Emirates Great Britain are going right now.
Yeah, at the moment we can see the Bonds Flying Rouge split. They took for the right turn at the DP World Gate, but I like where Emirates GBR are going. You can see there's that small dark patch of water. I expect they're going to manoeuvre in that. If you manoeuvre in pressure, that's kind of a key. Manoeuvre when you're fast and manoeuvre when you've got plenty of wind to hope to stay on the foils. As we see the rest of the fleet coming in, this fight to the final is going to be really, really tight. As we can see, Rockwool Denmark 7th, Black Foils 8th, French in 10th. There's going to be a big, big battle. Here we go. This scoreboard is going to be all over the place through this race, trying to keep up with who's making the final. As Italy and Spain are off the foils right now.
And the further back in the pack you are, the harder it is to keep the boat on the foils. So just, I think we heard Ian Jensen say earlier, let's make hay while the sun shines. If you're in pressure, it's much easier.
Yeah, and look at that. That's, on average, it's good to come where the Bonds Flying Rouge are, but at the moment they've made a big, big loss to Germany and to Great Britain. Germany are in a lovely bit of wind at the moment and going nearly straight up those ladder lines, so they've got a good angle and good pressure. Although, as I say that, the wind direction changes a little bit. Still fast on board Germany, but losing a bit of distance.
Big lefty, top of course.
The lefty, so what does that mean? That means the wind's going to swing to the left, which should favour Emirates Great Britain. It looks like the lefties on Australia right now, they're going round them like a little candy wrapper underneath there, wrapping round the British. Can the British get into the same wind as Australia? Just shows you can be 10 metres apart and in nearly a totally different breeze here. Absolute beautiful moment for the Bonds Flying Rouge.
Halfway through leg 3, Australia was sitting in 4th, maybe 5th place, and here they are now in 1st place as they make the right-hand turn, and it looks like Emirates GBR will join them on that right side as they make their way back down the course.
Okay, here we go. We heard Bonds Flying Rouge saying we're going to do a Chicago. So that's one of their set play moves, which is basically a handbrake turn on that mark. And it looks to me like Emirates GBR, whatever they call it in their playbook, they've done exactly the same manoeuvre, but they've done it better, and they're straight back into wind. So potentially Emirates GBR is going to manage to get back on the foils first. Germans, they're going to look to take a left turn, come back into the wind. Bottom of the screen's where the wind is, and that's where the Germans are heading right now.
Bonds Flying Rouge have lost all their wind now as they have dropped from 1st back to 4th. And there you see Emirates GBR, their speed right around 70 kilometers an hour.
Yeah. It's just so hard to read the breeze. You're trying to make best guesses all the time, and I think that's what Dylan meant by acceptance. You've got to make a decision. If you're indecisive on a day like today, that's worse than anything. Make a decision and then reassess, make the next one. Race to the final, Hannah. How's it looking?
Yeah, so at the moment, the boats at the front of the fleet in this race are the ones who'll be making the final. So we've got Australia 49, Great Britain on 40, Germany 35. That is as it stands currently, but there's plenty more racing to go.
Plenty of drama to unfold in that storyline in and of itself. You've got Emirates GBR with a damaged boat last night. They're back up and sailing. The Bonds Flying Rouge missing out on the final last time because of a controversial penalty. They are possibly in the final. And Stevie, to your point, Germany making their event final for the first time on home waters.
Well, it'd be amazing if they could make that happen in front of Homes fan, wouldn't it? We've got another split here. The two boats are choosing different ways. There's definitely wind where the Bonds Flying Roos are headed here, so I'm a little surprised that Emirates GBR have taken that, but they'll be able to see more than we can for sure. I think this result right now would mean the Bonds Flying Roos are definitely in the final, even with a race to spare. That's how well they've sailed this weekend. But yes, for Germans, well, I guess they'll be able to stay in the moment now, but the pressure's about to come on. Can they keep things together? Can they stay as smooth as they've been? Black foils are back in the race as well there, Todd. We can see here, oh, this is interesting. Have a look at the wind across the course. They're very well separated, but at the moment, not much difference in wind. A little bit more wind on Great Britain, so should be a potentially good news for the British, but it looks like the Australians are the ones that have gained so far.
Tight crossings here in the center of the course with Emirates GBR dipping behind the French. Here comes the Australia, the Bonds Flying Roos, and there you have Red Bull Italy crossing as well.
Potentially two more manoeuvres for the British here. I guess they're going to just try and find a good bit of... Here we go, they set up. They're going to try and do one more.
Talking about high mode on board the Australian boat.
Yeah, that means you're sailing as close to the wind as you can. They're saying, OK, we're not sure there's going to be too much wind. Let's minimise the distance.
Let's see how we look.
Right, Emirates Great Britain right of way. Bonds Flying Roos must keep clear, and they'll also want to try and stay on a lane. Oh, Emirates GBR cut the corner here. They must be very confident of making the breeze, making the next mark, sorry.
Looked like quite a quick decision to make that tack there, but they've executed it really nicely to put themselves in a commanding position in front.
So here we go, leg 5 of 6 in race number 6, and the race is on as they approach the final gate. It is a drag race to the Emirates finish line. It is Emirates GBR in the lead, and here come the Bonds Flying Roos.
That's a straight shot to the finish. They're on fire.
Back-to-back wins for Emirates GBR as they cross the line and win race number 6 on a newly repaired boat.
That was tight. It's going to all still be happening in the pack. Very nice work indeed, but Bonds Flying Roos, well, that's great news for them. Germany, they've been very aggressive with the Canadians there, holding them off the course, but this could be a good move here for the German team. They look pretty secure in third. They just need to get foiling. Here it comes, here it comes. They're foiling there. Look at that, beautiful.
Nice work, Anna. Where's the finish? Nice straight.
See how hard it is out there. So hard when it's changing as much to keep your orientation even on this race course, moving around the course so quickly.
So Germany will bring it back, and in front of the fans, they are on their feet as the hometown team, Germany Deutsche Bank, will finish in third, and that will help their cause with one more race to go to see if they can make it into the event final. Top 3, Emirates GBR, Australia, and Germany with one race left.
Can't wait to get up into that Oracle cloud and see the race to the final right now, Todd, because the Kiwis are back to a 5th. That's where the Black Foils have got up to. Rockwool, Denmark 6th, Spain 7th. There's still going to be barely any points in it for that 3rd place in the final. I think right now Australia should have already booked their ticket, and Emirates Great Britain must be looking pretty strong.
Start soon.
Rockwool, Denmark, they'll check in with 6th. Disappointing finish again for last year's season champions, Los Gallos, as they finish in 7th. And the French, Stevie, man, after that great start to start today, they have just not been themselves.
Yeah, you just get a little out of shape. I say one bad manoeuvre can suddenly throw you off, and if you don't do a good job of resetting, it can really affect the rest of your race. I mean, you know, their coach will no doubt be listening in on all the comms, trying to work out where things are going well and not quite going well. But the simple fact is, if you're in the lead, you get to make the decision and you get to choose your own destiny.
So the Italians will limp their way home. They will finish in 9th place, just ahead of the Swiss, who will finish in 10th. And that means race 6 has come to a conclusion, with the rest of the fleet now already talking about the final race of the day, race number 7. So let's take a look at the standings now after 6 races. It is the Bonds Flying Roos with a 9-point advantage, so they are pretty much locked into the event final. Emirates GBR sits in 2nd, and look at this. Germany Deutsche Bank hold on to 3rd place, alone by 1 point, just ahead of the French, who are going to need a big race in race number 7. The Black Bulls have moved up to 5th, even with Rockwell, Denmark, Los Gallos. They have dropped to 7. North Star Canada sit in 8th place. Big day in Sassnitz for the home team as Germany Deutsche Bank get a great performance in race number 6. They finish on a podium position. We now go on board their boat and we talk with their driver, Eric Kosgarten-Heil. Eric, congratulations. You guys are answering the call with the pressure. What are the conditions like out there today, and what is your thought going into the 7th and final fleet race of the day with an opportunity to make the event final?
I mean, that's probably the most crazy conditions of the year. What we see here today, you try to, stay in between the gusts and not in the first place being in the right symmetry of the course. So we are really challenged by the conditions today. So happy to give it a go for the final now.
Eric, we appreciate your time. Wish you guys the best of luck in the 7th and final fleet race as we now shift our attention to the Emirates flight time for race number 6. And talk about momentum in the right place at the right time. You gotta love the way Emirates GBR is sailing right now, Hannah. 98.8%, 2 races in a row, they've been dominant.
Yeah, really impressive. And I think one of the things we saw from the last race was they're really robust in their boat handling, which just gives them ability to put the boat wherever they want it, to keep it in the best pressure on the course. So really impressive from them.
One more race to go here at the Germany Sail Grand Prix Sassnitz, part of the Rolex SailGP Championship, and the race is on. Who will lock up that top 3 position? We know the Bonds Flying Roos are in, no question about that, but who will join them? And will the Germans make history here on home waters and get to their very first event final? We're about to find out.
Flying carbon machines driven by the world's best, yes. Powered by nature, powered by nature. We are SailGP.
I'm going to break down one of the most important concepts in high-speed racing, right-of-way. The rule is starboard, the boat that has the wind hitting its right-hand side has the right-of-way. As you can see here, Australia has right-of-way over Emirates Great Britain as the wind is coming from this direction and hitting the right-hand side of their boat and GBR's left. Luckily for fans, SailGP broadcasts make it easy. Just look for the green circle, which means right of way, and the red circle, meaning give way. Windward versus leeward. Who gets to hold their lane? Now imagine 2 boats heading in the same direction. Who gets to push the other off their line? It all comes down to who's closer to the wind. The leeward boat, the one further from the wind, has right of way. They're allowed to hold their lane, defend their position, and even push the windward boat out of the way with a move we call a luff. The windward boat, the boat closer to the wind, must keep clear. They have to either slow down, steer away, or risk a penalty. Think of it like trying to squeeze your way to the front of a concert. You've got your elbows out, holding your ground. That's the leeward boat. The one beside you has to move or get muscled out. Rule 3 is mark room. Who gets the inside line? Just like F1 drivers fighting for the apex, positioning is everything. Look for that yellow circle on the broadcast. Once the first boat enters that circle, mark room rules kick in. When the first boat hits the circle, the overlap is determined and whether or not the inside boat has rights to round as they wish. Now, what is overlap? We use the back of the outside boat to judge it. If any part of the inside boat is ahead of the back of the outside boat, the inside boat is what we call overlapped, and they get room to round. It's about judgment, aggression at the right moment, and ice-cold decision-making. If you nail it, you gain big. If you hesitate, you are history.
We have reached the 7th and final fleet race here at the Germany Sail Grand Prix Sassnitz, part of the Rolex SailGP Championship with Stevie Morrison, Hannah Diamond, and Lisa Darmanin. I'm Todd Harris. 1:45 to go until the all-important race 7 is on the line. Hannah Diamond, this is a very tough situation because not only do you have to defend your position if you're Germany Deutsche Bank, you got to be on the lookout because there's going to be some teams just below them a few points like France, New Zealand, Denmark. They're going to roll the dice and take chances.
Yeah, that's right. It's not going to be a comfortable position for many of the sailors on the boats who are in contention for the final because anyone from Rockwell, Denmark, Black Foils, French, or Germans could take that final spot.
Look at those numbers, Stevie. I'm sure everyone's been crunching those. They've got the coaches on shore in the coaches box, but the bottom line is you have to execute the start and you have to do your maneuvers clean.
I think the one thing is it's so wacky, the racing. You've just got to sail your own boat as well as you can. Try and stay fast, try and stay in breeze and see what plays out.
1 minute away for the 7th and final fleet race. Then we will cut it down to only the top 3 point getters, and they will race off for a winner-take-all championship here in Sassnitz. We will check in with Lisa Darman in a moment just to get the conditions report and what we should expect over the next 15 minutes or so. But Stevie, let's turn our attention now to the big dance before the start as that line goes white in 38 seconds.
Yeah, well, Germany and New Blackfoils very tight together towards the bottom of our screen. Emirates Great Britain there look like they've done a nice manoeuvre and potentially going to get up and foiling as well. Who's judged the positioning well? Not sure. It looks light at the gun. There is a gust coming at the top of the line, which I think could be good news for the Bond Flying Rouge, but can they time it right? All the boats are struggling to get towards this line and stay on the foils. It's going to be Australia and potentially Spain and Switzerland with a run-up that could be foiling. Look out at the top of the screen for the Bonds Flying Rouge, looking for the line to turn white. It's going to be a blanket start, but the French have got it right again. France, brilliant start. Germany, brilliant start out the middle of the line. They're foiling the Germans with the pressure well and truly on their shoulders, have nailed that. They should be able to drive over the top of Emirates Great Britain with a faster angle here, and the Germans, under the pressure of their feeling, could be in the first 2 at Mark 1.
And here we go at mark number 1 at the final fleet race here in Sassnitz. The French need the points, as do the Germans. And there you see Emirates GBR putting their nose into the mix as well.
Everyone needs the points here, Todd. It's right of way with the Germans at the moment. We're on board France. Manon looks to go and set up. She's got to watch out for that German boat. Germany still has the right of way. France have to wait for the Germans to move until they get towards the bound. Oh, lovely bit of breeze there for the French, Hannah.
Yeah, I actually think it makes it a little bit easier for Deutsche Bank Germany as well, because they can just fall in line, and then now both boats have got options and it's down to strategy.
So Australia is already confirmed into that event final. We're looking for 2 more boats. The top 3 point getters will race off and find out who takes the overall, as France takes a very aggressive line there. There you see Germany, Deutsche Bank, and it really comes down to these 2 teams, Hannah, of who's going to be that possibly that 3rd and final boat that makes the final.
Yeah, really tricky conditions to have to race another boat, but be mindful of the fleet. We've got Rockwool Denmark coming down with speed.
Germany are going to maybe try and make space here to turn right, are they? No, they're going to follow around. I think what we've got to remember here is it's so tight coming into the DP World Gate. Oh, brilliant by the Germans. That was superb. Seb Vettel would have loved that. Wide in, tight out. Nailed the apex there on the German boat. He looked like being on the outside, but he's done a great job. Here we go. Early manoeuvre by Germany. Early manoeuvre by Rockwool Denmark. And the Bonds Flying Rouge, bottom of our screen. Well, Slingsby tends to be a bit of a wind whisperer out here today. Race to the final. Ooh. Currently, France and Germany tied. If you're tied, it's whoever's ahead of whoever in the last race. But the Germans look like they're on the move to me.
They've done a really nice job getting out of that. It could have been really tricky, but they've got a tough lane with Rockwool Denmark, looking a little bit faster just to windward of them.
Well, they do, but the crucial baton at the moment is Germany-France, because it's whoever beats whoever in this race will get to the final. But there's plenty to go. Denmark need a couple of places gained, and they'll be right back in it. All to play for here.
And the million-dollar question is, where is the sweet spot on the course? For that, we check in the water with Lisa.
And Tony?
I think it's a little bit opposite this time. So we kept saying that where the spectator boats are, but this time I actually think the wind's rotated a little bit and the opposite side. But as we've seen, you can be 10 meters apart from someone else and it's completely different. It's all about moding. So do you go low and fast and find the next pressure, or you squeeze up high close to the wind and stay in the gust? So it's a real balancing act out here.
Yeah, keep an eye out for the black foils here, Todd, as well. They've got to that side of the course, Lisa said. They're right on the edge of that breeze. They could be up, moving up the fleet here. They have the right of way. Rockwool Denmark must keep clear. France must keep clear. But how are the black foils going to find their way to gate 3?
And during the space of Lisa's report, it is France that has now moved into that 3rd position. Germany's dropped back to 5th overall, with the black foils moving up to 4th.
So tight. I tell you, one person that's struggling to put a foot wrong at the moment. I don't know what magic dust went into that left-hand side of the British boat, but Emirates GBR once again leading here. They are clinical.
Bond's Flying Ruse, once again, Tom Slingsby threading the needle, knowing that he's already into the event final.
Angle, not too much, mate. Going neutral diff.
Neutral diff. They're talking about the balance between how much load is on each rudder. You can pull down on one rudder and lift with the other, so there's a differential between the two. But if you overdo that, too much downforce, and you can just suck yourself down into the water.
And Germany Deutsche Bank, they decide to follow Spain in here, but did they not see that Rockwell Denmark right in front of them is off the foil, so that's a bit of a roadblock for the Germans.
Yeah, he's done a good job of dodging it, but at the moment they've got a lot of work to do. As of the black foils, they need a mistake from the French, and at the moment Delapierre's not making any.
Speaking of not making mistakes, Hannah, your former team, Emirates GBR, they have just got the magic sauce today.
Yeah, they're doing a really, really nice job in these really difficult conditions. Just keeping everything nice and calm. But as ever, you know, you've got to convert that in the final.
Yeah, looking for a picket fence scoreline at the moment, aren't they? There could be a lot of 10s coming in for them here at the moment. It's just that conversation on board, that communication so hard. If you keep the tempo right in these conditions, then you're going to be doing pretty well. France still in third, though, and really, that's the crucial boat on the course in terms of the race to the final. If France stay there, no one can do anything about it.
Give a little credit to the Swiss. They opt for that left-hand side. Sebastian Schneider and his crew, after a great performance the last event in Portsmouth. Yeah, fly in the hole there.
Yeah, there's a little bit aggressive, but there's nothing Contan likes more than to push these boats hard.
So the French really control their destiny, Stevie, if they're going to get into that final. If they can stay ahead of the Germans and the Kiwis, they are in.
Yeah, they are. And right now, the Swiss look like they could be taking a big gain over the British. They have the right of way, and they're in a lot of wind on that side of the course. Lisa was telling us it was a little bit better on the right-hand side, but they're away from the French at the moment. The French are not on the good side of the course, but to me, they're in good wind. There's a big dark patch coming at them. They've got a lot of breeze, and as I say, they just need to stay ahead of that German boat to the right. Germany have got a split, though, and if you're the boat behind, all you want is a split. Gives you a chance. Lisa, are the Germans going to get the magic gust of wind out on that side of the course?
They are going to get it, but I think the French were too far ahead at the bottom. They're not got a good angle, the French, but they're going super fast.
Just wait.
You can see there, 28 kilometres of wind compared to 23 kilometres of wind on the French boat. Is it going to be enough for them to catch up?
Well, it all comes down to this. This is the penultimate leg 5 of 6, and then the field will be cut to just the top 3. Switzerland's going to have a great finish here as they will cross the line. Looks to be they will take the win here in race number 7, but they were just too far out on the overall leaderboard to really make a difference. Now Emirates GBR, you see the Bond's Flying Ruse. It looks like they are pretty much locked in, and now we keep our eye on positions 4 and 7. That's France and Germany Deutsche Bank.
Germany need a bit of magic here. They're nearly 200 metres behind with 400 or 500 metres to go.
And as they approach the line, the Emirates winning moment in race number 7 in Sassnitz goes the way of Switzerland. Great performance by Sebastian Schneider and crew.
Great performance by them, but not enough really, as we see France are well positioned. France are going to bring this home here. They've just got one manoeuvre to stick. The Australians need to be sure. They've got to keep clear on board Australia. France has right of way here. I think he'll be round the front of him just. I think that was clean. Just clean by the Bond's Flying Ruse, and Delapierre will just want to keep things simple.
And as they come to the line, it's not a bad Super Sunday for Emirates GBR. A first, a first, and a second. And then you'll have the Bond's Flying Ruse looking to take third, so they are into the final with Emirates GBR. And then it is France. They check in just at the line in 4th place behind the Australians.
Well, before this event, I said it was absolutely crucial the French made the final, France or North Star. Well, it's France that have made it happen here. In that whole chase for the season, France now have got to go out and convert this into a win, and then it could be absolutely transformative after what's been a real roller coaster season for that French team.
Stevie, after you notice that when they crossed the finish line, or just prior to them crossing the finish line, Content Delapierre did not seem happy. And I don't know if he knew or he'd done the math, because the Australians just edged him out for third. So maybe in his mind, that was the point he needed to get in. But I think we're going to confirm here now, whether they are in or not, but it looks like the French have done just enough to make that final.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that might have been a French celebration. I'm not sure. I'll have to go back and scrub up on my French, but I think potentially that, believe it or not, was Contan happy.
With the Germans finishing down in 8th, they just miss out on that opportunity. But for a moment there, they had the fans really believing that it was possible as they were going to make their first event final on home waters. It would have been a great moment not to be, as the Swiss win. Emirates GBR takes 2nd, and Australia will hold on for 3rd with France in 4th.
Yeah, but a great weekend for the Germans, Todd. Great weekend overall.
As Canada comes across the line as well, and then it'll be 10th place. We're going to Red Bull Italy, up-and-coming team, and not their best weekend, but CEO Jimmy Spithill will have them back and ready to go in Saint-Tropez in about 3.5 weeks' time. So 7 fleet races have now been completed here in beautiful Sassnitz, and this is how it all plays out. The Bonds Flying Roos dominant with 57 points, 12 points clear of Emirates GBR, who had a great Super Sunday. Can they keep it going for one more race? And Contan de la Pierre celebrating at the line. Les Bleus, they are into the final. Those are your top 3, with the Black Foils and Germany Deutsche Bank just missing out by the smallest of margins, just 3 points away from making the final. Oh, we just spoke just a short time ago with Germany Deutsche Bank, and we joined them again. A little bit disappointing for you, Eric Koskartenheil and your crew, but you guys had a great showing. You gave the fans a lot of hope, and what a performance for you. Do you feel like you guys are turning the corner as a team and now look forward, obviously, to the last 4 events of Season 5?
Yeah, I mean, the event for sure gives us some confidence. We worked really hard on many things in between the events and actually all year. But it's nice to see some things turn around slowly, and yeah, I'm really looking forward for the next couple of events, surely.
Anna, that was obviously really difficult race course. What do you think are going to be the key moments for the boats left in this 3-boat final?
Yeah, it's really all open until the end, I think. We had a great start, and usually that makes the race a lot easier. And you can't really, if you do great maneuvers and sail clean around the course, you can't really lose a lot. But here, definitely, it's all about the pressure and finding these pressure lines and good chips.
Our thanks to strategist Anna Barth and, of course, their driver, Eric Koskartenheil. Germany Deutsche Bank just missing out by 3 points of making the event final. All right, let's go back and take a look at race number 7. What a race it was. And once again, Emirates GBR, the French, and the Swiss, Hannah, making a real big showing here on this drive to the Mark 1.
Yeah, and talk about the teams that needed to start well, getting away off the line really cleanly, with Deutsche Bank Germany and the French really nailing that start. But we've been saying it all day, some days it's just not all about the start, is it? You've got to be able to maintain that throughout the rest of the really tricky racing. Yeah, I think as we look ahead now for the 3-boat final, you can see how it's all about keeping the boats slick and smooth and fast on the foils. And Emirates GBR really have been doing a very good job of that. France have been scrappy today, I feel, out on the water, but Contan likes a scrap, and we've seen he's probably the favourite to lead at Mark 1 the way he started out there today. So not all about the start, but I'd still like Contan's aggression at the starts.
Let's take a look at the Emirates fly time for race number 7, and it is the French. They go 99.7%. Really tough to do, Hannah, considering the tricky snakes and ladders course we have out there in the shifty wind.
Yeah, really tricky.
Beautiful crowd on hand, enjoying a beautiful day of racing as SailGP comes to Germany for the first time. This is the Germany Sail Grand Prix Sassnitz, part of the Rolex Sail Grand Prix Championship. So the teams are getting ready, making final preparations. It will be the Bonds Flying Roos, it will be Emirates GBR, and it will be Team France that will line up for one race in a winner-take-all format here on the Baltic. Well, let's talk about the Bonds Flying Roos. Hannah, we'll start with you. This team is all-star, and we had a disappointment for them at the last event, obviously, in Portsmouth. Decision didn't go their way, but they came roaring back, and I think in our previews, we all talked about it. This is a team we thought, with that kind of motivation, they're going to be heard from.
Yeah, and I think we've seen so many times before that they really step up when they make it to the final. So, you know, it is a tricky race course. There's really kind of no room for remembering anything from these last few races. You're going to have to be really adaptable. But they got Tash Bryan at the back, Tom Slingsby driving. That combination between them and then working with Chris Draper on the wing, Jason Waterhouse, is really, really strong, so we definitely can't count them out.
And how about Sam Newton and Kinley Fowler up front? Those are two units that can put some power to their hands.
Yeah, and I think that's really quite a talking point of today. You know, we're going to see that. We're going to move on to our next team in a minute, and we'll see another sort of all-star grinding lineup. And I think those grinders at the front, we're going to go on board GBR, perhaps with the biggest, most powerful grinding units on board. Maybe that's been the difference maker out there today. That balance of work between your grinders. You've got Neil Hunter. I mean, he is a big human being. Then you've got Nick Hutton as well on the grinding team. And I think those two, putting the horsepower into the wing to let Ian Jensen put the wing as and where he needs to, is so crucial, because today that is changing all the time.
You got Luke Parkinson, Ian Jensen on the wing, of course, the Welsh goat, Hannah Mills in there, and now Dylan Fletcher on the wheel. Your former team looking pretty sharp, and they've got so much momentum, especially here on Super Sunday.
Yeah, that's right. They can't be too disappointed with how they've been racing so far. But like I say, the final is a different dynamic. There's fewer boats. There's kind of more space on the course, so it means there's more opportunities for, if you're not leading at Mark 1, you've got that option to be able to go and find some space, find the best pressure. You're not being held back by the other boats on the course, so it's going to be a very different dynamic.
And last but certainly not least, Quentin Delapierre, Jason Saunders, Kevin Pepinet, Manon Audney, Olivier Helladon, and Matthew Van Dam. They are on the line here for Team France. And there are the three teams that will be competing in the Germany Sail Grand Prix. Sassnitz, part of the Rolex SailGP Championship. You've got Emirates GBR, the Bonds Flying Rouge of Australia, and Team France. All right, pick your poison, Stevie Morrison. Who do you like and why?
I mean, I got to say, I kind of feel the British could get this done, because there's a little bit of a magical story. You know, it was a little bit out of their hands yesterday that they ended up in that incident where the United States crashed into them. And more importantly than that, they've sailed very, very well today. They're really picking the shifts well. I think it could come down to the fitness of the grinders, and you'd never back against those two guys at the front. So yeah, I'm going to go GBR.
All right, we come up on 2 minutes to go before the start of the event final. We check in down on the water. Just a short time ago, Lisa Darmanin with a very telling interview.
Tom, congratulations making the final. Feel good to be back in there. I bet you're looking forward to ripping it.
Yeah, we've missed a couple of close finals in the last 3 or 4 events, so no, we're really happy to be back in the final. It's a tough day to predict. We'll do our best. The British have been sailing really well today, but yeah, we'll give it a crack and see how we end up.
Thanks, Tom.
90 seconds to go before the event final, and someone that much closer to hoisting the wheel. A smiling Tom Slingsby, not a good thing for the rest of the fleet. Hannah, same question I asked Stevie, asked to you. Who do you like and why?
No, I think you're right there, but I do think that there's something to be said about coming back from adversity, and both the French and the British have had that this weekend. So they'll all be hungry for the win, but I do think that being able to come back in the final is going to be a proud moment for any of these teams.
All right, we're about to find out who is going to lift the wheel at the end of the day. 1 minute to go before the event final. Remember, Emirates GBR had their boat damaged last night. It looked like they wouldn't be sailing today, and here they are in the event final. Quentin Delapierre and the French Stevie, they had a bib moment where he goes over the wheel, through the wheel on Friday. They're in the final, and of course, the perennial favorites, the Bonds Flying Rouge and Tom Slingsby.
Yeah, you give it to any of them. They've all sailed great. They all deserve to be here. And I think the start will be more important than in the other fleet races. Now there's more space on the course, and more of the boats can make their own decision. Emirates, Great Britain and Australia, well, they're in a tight fight. Australia now struggling there. The Bonds Flying Rouge have got to do some serious work. We've got some tricky manoeuvres to come here. I like where the French are in space, though. Delapierre's been starting well. He has the Rolex pole predictor on him, and he's looking good here as we come in towards the start line. Pole position towards the spot where Emirates Great Britain are, but it's all about acceleration. Bonds Flying Rouge is going to need a comeback. Look for that line to turn white. Fletcher's going to get it right here. Oh, Emirates GBR are going to be leading at Mark 1, I think, here. They've just got to pop onto the foils they have. They're gone. They're going to be flying towards Mark 1. Aggressive against Australia, positioned well against the French, and now fast towards Mark 1. Emirates GBR have got it right so far.
Hey, lefty 5 away. Yeah, here it is.
And as they approach mark number 1, the question is, how much distance can Emirates GBR put between themselves, the French, and the Bons Flying Rouge? The race for the title is on here in Sassnitz.
Yeah, it looks light after this first mark. The Rolex sprint leader there, GBR. Well, they've nailed that, haven't they? You want to go round the first mark in breeze if you're the first boat, because if you're not in wind, it probably means the boat behind is.
We've got pressure coming to us here. Coming up still.
Yeah, we've got pressure time.
Yep. Forward down.
Big wind shift here. None of them are moving down the course very quickly. Expect the Australians to potentially have a little attack option here. Emirates Great Britain are in breeze though.
They're not going to lay, I don't think. Nice angles.
Putting themselves in a nice sort of protected position between the fleet and the mark there. But on a day like today, you can't afford to give anyone any leverage and separation because the breeze is so tricky to read.
Yeah, but they're really well positioned. Look, Emirates Great Britain are sailing into really nice breeze here. Okay, we hear there from Dylan. So interesting here. So, okay, control the controllable. One in right, that means one more manoeuvre. Let's take a right turn. The French are basically going to have to follow that, and it'll be a big moment whether Australia rolls the dice or not.
Good opportunity to go down on the water. Lisa Darman, and whose position do you like, and where's the sweet spot for this event final?
I think it's pretty nice to be Emirates Great Britain now and have the choice. But I think one thing that's so hard out here is because the wind direction and speed's changing so much, is trying to choose those lay lines, whether it's that gate or the gate they'll be coming up to. You know, that's really where things have been won or lost out here.
So we've got a split here. Emirates Great Britain like the right turn, which is good, but we could see from that helicopter shot there was wind if you take the left turn. So I don't think it's a problem for either of the boats behind to split away. There will be wind that way, and it will then ask a question. Here we go. What do the Bons Flying Rouge do? They look like they might split the course. Yep, there they go. Left turns for the Bons Flying Rouge. They're going to roll the dice early in the race here, Slingsby.
Three-time champions of SailGP. They haven't won since New Zealand event number 2. That's Tom Slingsby and company. As Stevie said, they're going to take a chance here and see what happens. They're already going to finish in the top 3. The only boat out there right now that has not won an event this year is the French.
Okay, crucial moment here in the race. We can see both the boats on the left are not really moving up the course ladder line wise. The wind is rotated to the Bons Flying Rouge side here, but they're still going to be a little bit behind, but they might have closed the game up a little bit. And what sort of breeze will they be sailing into later? GBR off the foils in no breeze. France foiling seriously 30 kilometers an hour faster. Emirates GBR first to third, I think, here.
That's it. You can't always keep yourself between the fleet and the mark, and just that little bit of separation out of the mark has opened up the door.
Yeah, we're just seeing the Oracle cloud there that Emirates GBR were in nearly 5 kilometers an hour left wind, and that was just enough to get them off the foils and put them down in the water. So now it's a straight fight between France and Australia. But again, we've seen anything can happen very quickly right now. Bons Flying Rouge, look how smooth the boat looks here on this flat German water. Good angle for Australia as well here, Todd, straight up the course.
When they say charging, that means that they will have a manoeuvre when they get to this bottom hand of the screen, and they do have a minimum speed that they can pull off a foiling tack, so they're going to make sure that as soon as they want to make that decision, that they're going fast enough to do that.
Slingsby right now is really hoping that in front of him is a nice gust of wind.
Okay, let's stand by there.
No, he's given up. He's saying the wind's going to stay favouring the French for the time being, but they've gone from third to second. They've closed the gap. It's about being patient here and take the opportunities when you did. They split last time at gate 2. What's going to happen at gate 3?
The Bons Flying Rouge were third off the line. They now drop back to second place, and France inherits the lead. So the French still looking for their first event win of the season. Will it be today in Germany? We are halfway through the course, leg 3 of 6. It is France at gate number 3. The Bons Flying Rouge in second, and here comes Emirates GBR.
And Emirates GBR are in phase with the wind here. Emirates GBR will go left. If they can go left and manoeuvre early, they could be back in the lead very, very quickly here. This one's favouring Emirates GBR at the moment. If they can stay on the foils, no, they're down off the foils. It's a full reload for the whole fleet. They're all off the foils. France first back up again. Oh, it was inches away from Emirates GBR, making that and taking the lead again.
Oh, God. This is painful. It's okay.
They're struggling too.
Just holding the single till we get the pop.
All about keeping cool in this situation and seeing where you can pick back up again.
But look at the difference. I mean, France right now going 60 kilometers an hour. Emirates GBR was down to 17. Now they're starting to build, Stevie, and so they'll be foiling really soon. But this is literally the definition of snakes and ladders.
Todd, I told you we were playing Mario Kart powered by nature out here today, didn't you? And this final is demonstrating that. France are doing a very nice job of staying calm. Sail your own boat well. That's all you can control is what you sail. Left-hand side of screen, Emirates GBR, they're nearly going straight down the course. They have the most wind. They have the most speed at the moment. Here we go, the Oracle Clown. We're up into it. Wind speed, GBR, 8 kilometers an hour more wind, and that's turning into over 10, 12 kilometers an hour more boat speed. This maneuver is crucial, and the decision at gate number 4, the final turning gate, is going to be absolutely massive here. Can Quentin de la Pierre keep it calm? Oh, they've lost the runners on the British boat. Oh, they've just stayed foiling.
Emirates GBR's 5th final. This will be their 2nd win of the season, and it is Quentin de la Pierre now applying the pressure as the French look for their 1st win in season 5.
Pretty textbook there. Hey, Hannah, he's turned straight in front of Emirates GBR, but now he's got to make a decision. You'd want to have the decision. Lisa, which way are you turning at this final turning gate, left or right?
I think the left turn is actually quite strong, and then you want to be able to maneuver pretty quickly and then head all the way over to the other way where those boats are.
Okay, well, Quentin de la Pierre clearly heard that, takes the left turn. I anticipate surely the Bonds Flying Ruse will take a split here and roll the dice one more time. There he goes. Slingsby splits away.
Look for an opportunity on the beat.
Good patience by the British there. Quentin de la Pierre first to move away. Emirates Great Britain will push all the way to the boundary, and the Bonds Flying Ruse, well, has he seen something special with this turn?
See, this is hard for the French because you've got the 2 boats behind you going opposite ways, and on a day like today, you've got no control over what's happening to either of them. So really, really hard decision making, but they do look to be in really good pressure going nicely up the course at the moment.
Yeah, and I think as well, you know, in the positive sense, they've got themselves in a lot more wind, and you do get the first decision, like Lisa said on that first lap. At least you've got the first decision. They've made a very, very good decision so far. 200-metre gain for Les Bleus at the moment. This looks pretty strong. However, we've seen that the final 600 metres of this upwind leg can be crucial. Left-hand side of screen, there is good wind. Max Gauche, furthest left is what Kevin Pepinay is saying to Quentin de la Pierre there. One more manoeuvre coming. Will they stay on the foils?
Oh, they keep it dry.
They're so aggressive with their turns, so much more than a lot of the other boats, aren't they?
Well, Quentin does like to drive it like he stole it, there's no doubt about that. Now, he's setting up, GBR are going to come wider here. Will France be able to make the final turning mark with no more manoeuvres? Could be crucial. He's in good breeze, but the British are going to stretch wide against him here. Not much wind in front of the French, Todd.
So a big moment coming here in 200 meters. France has the lead. Emirates GBR in 2nd. There you see the Australians. They are the top of the course, and it all comes down to this. There you see the Emirates finish line in the distance. It's going to be 2 maneuvers now for the French.
This manoeuvre now is absolutely crucial. France needs to stay foiling. If he foils, I think he's going to take the final. Oh, that was beautifully done in not a lot of wind.
And they'll make this turn, and they will see the finish line in front of them. With the Bonds Flying Ruse and Emirates GBR closing down, will they have the speed? Can they take it to the line? Here we go. The race is on.
It's got to just stay foiling, Todd. They've got to stay over 33. I think they're foiling still. They're going to get it done, Todd.
Here we go. So the 3rd time is a charm. 3 finals, and now their 1st event win since season 3. Give the win in Sassnitz to the French.
Allez, les Bleus, gay! Oh, Quentin. What a weekend.
The Emirates winning moment goes to Team France. The Bonds Flying Ruse will finish in 2nd, and Emirates GBR will wrap up the top 3. Great week of racing by all 3 teams. But Stevie, you look at the teams that finished 1 and 2. France, after their moment on Friday with Quentin de la Pierre going through the driving wheel, we thought he might be done for the weekend. And then Emirates GBR with their collision, they're in the final, and they finish in 2nd. Wow, what a week of racing as we go down on the water. The hottest team on Super Sunday for the first 3 races, no question about it, was Emirates GBR. There you see Ian Jensen, Dylan Fletcher, and Hannah Mills. Guys, I know you're exhausted, but Dylan, what was today like for you guys after what you went through last night with your collision with Team USA?
It's just amazing to be on the water today, but I'm not going to lie right now, it feels pretty painful having sort of dominated the day and yeah, just didn't go our way in that last race.
Hannah, you look like you had it pretty locked down. Was that an issue with a manoeuvre, or did you just run out of wind on that tack on the first upwind?
We just missed the gust attacking, unfortunately. It's pretty punishing out here, as you can see. Missed the pressure, it's moving super quick, so yeah, it was a bit painful.
Guys, congratulations on your second place finish and the points that go with it. We will see you in a few weeks' time in Saint-Tropez. And in second place is the Bonds Flying Rouge, with Emirates GBR finishing in third, as they had a great weekend as well. Good performances on Super Sunday, and that's what you need as they finish up race 6 and 7 with a second and a third place to punch their ticket. And we're able to go on board now as they take it back to their tech area. Tom Slingsby and company. Tom, congratulations. Great performance. You're back in a final again.
Yeah, no, it's good to get back in the final. We've had some close calls there. Well, since we dropped the wing, broke the wing in San Francisco, it feels like we haven't been able to get in there. So, no, we're really happy. We sailed really well, and yeah, it's unfortunate not to get a win, but we're happy with how we did.
Tash, that puts you now back on top of the leaderboard for the season after that one, albeit it's very tight. How hectic was that racing? It looked pretty wild from the shore.
Yeah, the racing was crazy today. I mean, that top mark, getting in and out was so tough. It felt like you were going to just foil all the way in and around, and then all of a sudden, the sails went to the middle and you couldn't do it. So, but that's racing, tough race course, but we enjoyed it and had fun, and thank you to Sassnitz and Germany for putting it on.
Australia finishing 4th final season and their first final since Los Angeles. Congratulations to the Bonds Flying Rouge as they finish in 2nd today, just ahead of Emirates GBR.
There we go. Start wasn't necessarily crucial, but the British and the French had got space, and it was Dylan Fletcher that nailed that Rolex best time start. Just 0.1 of a second behind the gun there, but he was so well set up for Mark 1, and they looked like they had the race locked down until Hannah Mills said that they were just a little bit running out of breeze, and we could see quite how gusty it was on this race course.
You know, and normally getting to Mark 1 first, especially in a final, will give you a massive advantage, but it means you've got to make that first decision, especially around the bottom gate, which can be really hard. And you can see here, Bonds Flying Rouge were really happy to split away, which really brought the race back together. As soon as you separate, you've got no control over the breeze that the other boats are in.
You know what was great about that final, Stevie? All 3 teams took an opportunity to lead the race.
Yeah, I mean, it was that kind of day, Todd, wasn't it? And it was never over until it was over. I think what was impressive was once the French got in front, they did actually look quite solid at how they locked it down. They'd cut the door off. This could have easily gone the way of the British here, but for one little lull in the wind and falling off the foils. Another roll of the dice by the Aussies, but it wasn't to be. The French took their opportunity, minimised the mistakes and maximised the fans' fun.
In the end, it was the French that crossed the finish line as they get their first win of the season. And the Emirates fly time, absolutely. Team France, 96.5%, almost near perfect. They were in 3rd, they were in 2nd, and in the end, they take the victory, and they are standing by with Lisa Darmanin down on the Baltic.
Quentin, congratulations. You started the week going to hospital and you just won the Grand Prix.
Yeah, exactly. It's high and lows, but yeah, an amazing feeling with all the team. Like, it's been a while we didn't win a Grand Prix. And it's, yeah, super nice feeling.
It was such a difficult day out there. It looked like you had to fight till the very end, but it wasn't a win till the very end either.
Yeah, exactly. It's super shifty, as you saw. We discussed together yesterday about Harris, and honestly, it looks like pretty much like Harris. And Kevin's been world champion there, so I think he got lucky today.
Did you get stressed at all, or did you just enjoy racing?
Yeah, just enjoy. It was super good fun, good game, and playing with the shift and the pressure was, yeah, will be a good memory.
Congratulations, enjoy the celebration.
Thank you, Lisa.
From the hospital to the winner's circle, Quentin Delapierre and France reign supreme here in Sassnitz. And they will make their way to the trophy presentation, which is about to take place on shore.
Now we have a look at the Rolex Precision athletes of the day. Eric, Heil, they really stepped up in their starting, and that's shown as he's the driver closest to the start line all day. Tash Bryan helping the Bonds Flying Rouge, sailing the shortest distance of the day. Ian Jensen, the Brits had a great day, really, really strong in the fleet racing and highest average speed. And then Jason Saunders, the flight controller, taking ultimately the win in the final.
And we'll hand out some more accolades. That, of course, being the DP World highest speed of the day. It goes the way of Emirates GBR. Less than 24 hours ago, they were down and out with a damaged boat, and they come back, not only get into the final and finishing in, what, third place overall, but they get the highest speed of the day at 90.9 kilometers an hour. So let's take a look how it all shakes down after this event. It is Le Bleu, the French reign. They get the 10 points. Bonds Flying Rouge pick up 9. Emirates GBR get the 8. Blackfoil's just missing out, 1 point clear of the home team. But a top 5 finish for Germany Deutsche Bank in front of the home fans is fantastic. Los Gallos will come back swinging. Obviously, we get to Saint-Tropez. Then you have Rockwell Racing, North Star, and Switzerland. So here we go. After 8, it looks like this. It is all tied up at the top with 61 points. Best of friends, the Bonds Flying Rouge and the Blackfoils of New Zealand, they share the top spot. Emirates GBR just 3 points back at 58. Then you have the defending champions, Spain. They sit in 4th on 56. Le Bleu still in the conversation on 47, and North Star Canada on 44. Just a tough weekend, though, for Mubadala Brazil, Stevie, and US SailGP. Well, the European leg of SailGP Season 5 rolls on in just 4 weeks as the league returns to the Côte d'Azur and the Rockwell France Sail Grand Prix Saint-Tropez. One of the most scenic venues on Season 5's calendar hosts the world's best sailors at event number 9, with sellout crowds expected to witness the drama.
Racing returns to the Côte d'Azur. Saint-Tropez is a notorious venue on SailGP with record-breaking speeds and all-out drama.
Fastest speed in SailGP.
The 12 world-class teams will battle on the glamorous waters in the south of France, with Quentin Delapierre's French team looking for glory on home waters.
And the fans have turned out to support the champions, Les Bleus. The French will lift the wheel, and Mayor Leon Croicha, the mayor of Sassnitz, what great host, and SailGP, no question, will be back. Hannah Diamond, your final thoughts on what we saw this weekend?
Well, I think we've seen it all, haven't we? From the drama of Friday to incredible racing yesterday and a really tricky race course today. It's been an unbelievable weekend.
Stevie, I think Lisa Darmanin had the greatest line of the day. From the hospital to the winner's circle, France gets the victory.
Yeah, I mean, it just shows you, resilience is obviously a huge part of our sport. Mistakes are a thing that happen, and they've moved forward from that and gone really, really well. I just hope what I've seen is a fantastic sailing event with some amazing tactical racing at such incredibly high speeds. I hope we remember it for that, not the crashes, because the racing has been absolutely spectacular. Plenty of drama, plenty of action, but it's just been superb racing.
As the French national anthem is played, we turn the page and we take a look at what's next, and it will be the French on home waters, the Rockwell France Sail Grand Prix in Saint-Tropez, September 12th and 13th, and that will be one great show. So on behalf of Stevie Morrison, Hannah Diamond, and Lisa Darmanin, I'm Todd Harris saying so long from Sassnitz. The French get the big victory at the Germany Sail Grand Prix Sassnitz, part of the Rolex SailGP Championship. Next up, we will see you in Saint-Tropez. Welcome to the Germany Sail Grand Prix Sassnitz. No, this is Formula One on waters. It's Emirates GBR that takes the win. And in front of the fans, they are on their feet. It will be the Bonds Flying Rouge. It will be Emirates GBR and a Team France that will line up for one race in a winner-take-all form of their first event win since Season 3. Give the win in Sassnitz to the French.
Allez, les Bleus.